rehearsing for day 306 of consistently helping people build consistency. Hi, I'm Laksana, just an average person trying to be consistent. Currently having more than 175 days straight morning push-up streak. Fully documented on my Instagram, you can just check it out. And I want to be the best at helping people build consistency. That's why I need to rehearse consistently on my live stream. On this live stream, I'm gonna be practicing some new scripts. I just got some new scripts yesterday, create some new script. Actually, ChatGPT helped me a lot to create this script. I mean, like in a sense that it gives me some inspiration, lots of useful strategies on how to be consistent. Using ChatGPT to learn is really one way to learn quick. Okay, it's just full of ideas, full of strategies, full of new things that I have never think about. So if you want to study something, I really do suggest you to use ChatGPT, but always, do not really rely way too much to it, and always cross check and stuff. Do your own logical thinking and research. And so here's the thing. The first idea, it comes from myself, but I ask ChatGPT to expand it. I don't really know whether other people have already think about this idea before. Pretty much, at least, this is not the first time I think about somebody thinking this idea. But here's the thing: when we are talking about being consistent, I'm pretty sure you've heard about the term bare minimum. Okay, you need a minimum target on a day-to-day basis of how many minutes, how many reps, how many time you are going to be spending, how much time you are going to spending your time on doing some particular thing. So for example, if you want to stay consistent at studying, you set on a bare minimum of 5 minutes of reading a book every single day. That's the very minimum amount of studying that can be considered as enough. You can do 10, you can do 15, you can do 20, you can do 30, you can do 1 hour, you can do 2 hours, but the bare minimum is 5 minutes. You need to do 5 minutes at least. So I kind of agree with this bare minimum concept, but I kind of think of this new concept yesterday. It's about the maximum limit. Okay, so instead of having a limit of how much you must do, why don't we create a maximum limit of how much we can actually do in a day? Okay, so actually a quota, a limit. Okay, so for example, instead of just saying, oh yeah, I can only, I should be reading a book for 5 minutes today, or I should be reading a book for 20 minutes today. Why do not we just limit the reading the book into 20 minutes per day? Okay, so instead of I should do 20 minutes every single day, we change it into I can only do 20 minutes every single day. For some of you guys, might say, well, you know what? Only 20 minutes every single day. I want more. Blah 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 blah. Well, we are going to get into that soon. Okay. I'm going to be explaining why this is going to be effective first. Just because you set on a 20 minutes maximum limit at the beginning doesn't necessarily means that you need to stick to the maximum limit for the rest of your life. No, definitely you can just change it. You can just increase it later. Okay. So here's the thing: why setting a maximum limit is effective. Okay. So for example, I can only read a book 20 minutes every single day. I cannot do more than that. The maximum limit is just 20 minutes. Basically, the very core essence why this is going to be effective is because it changed our mindset. Okay, it changed the way we perceive things. It changed the way we perceive our routine. It changed the way we perceive our habit. Instead of oh yeah, I need to be doing at least 20 minutes every single day of reading a book, we turn it into, oh yeah, actually, I can actually read a book for 20 minutes a day. So we are changing it, changing the perspective from responsibility into privilege, from something that you must do, right, to something that you get to be doing. Our brain, it doesn't really like it when, we tell it to do stuff, because sometimes it's just lazy. Well, yeah, sometimes it likes to, but sometimes it's just lazy. But ultimately we don't really like to be told doing something, because it feels like, something that we need to be doing. Okay, it feels like an obligation. It feels like, well, what? Responsibility and obligation are good to some extent, but sometimes our brain just hates it, okay? Because it just wanted to, lay down and scroll TikTok for 6 hours every single day and not do its stuff. Because, just be honest, doing the productive things isn't going to be feeling fun 100% of the time, okay? Even if you found exercising fun, even if you found studying fun, there are going to be days when it's going to feel like a chore. And our brain, it doesn't necessarily like to have, somebody to tell him to do something, even if that particular somebody is himself, actually. Okay? We don't really like to be told, oh, what, you need to be doing this, you need to be doing that. We want to rebel. We want to say that, no, what, I don't want to do this. I can do something else. I'm just gonna be, reading. I'm just gonna be scrolling TikTok for 6 hours today and not do my thing. And basically, the perspective change that's going to happen when we just change the framing into, you need to do at least 20. We change it into, you can do 20, you can only do 20 here, is that we are setting this reading a book routine as a privilege. Hey, you know what? Just as the same as, maybe like when you limit your social media usage, or you limit your Instagram usage, or your scrolling usage, or I don't know, gaming time. Oh yeah, you can only play video games for 20 minutes today. What's going to happen? Okay, you are going to be thinking, oh, you know what? 20 minutes? I can only do 20 minutes. I need to make the best of it. Okay, this 20 minutes is my fun time. I'm so privileged to have this video game. I'm so privileged to actually have some time to play some video games after a hard work, a day full of hard work. You know what? I'm going to utilize it the best as I can if I can only have 20 minutes today. Well, the same thing applies with studying and exercising and stuff. Instead of seeing it as something that we must do in a, not really fun way, we are going to be seeing these things as a privilege. Or you know what? I can actually get to study today for 20 minutes. If I think of it, okay, we remind ourselves, if I think of it, when I just frame this as a can, I just realized that, hey, actually this is something that not everyone can do. Okay, in a respective way. Okay, not wanting to frame it in a disrespectful way, but to be honest, if you just think of it, studying, having internet connection to access lots of learning researches, having the healthy mind and body to actually process the information is a privilege that not everyone can get. I mean, like, not everyone is getting right now. Okay, well, everyone, like, I wish everyone can study. I hope everyone can study, but in reality, there are people that, not that want to study, but they cannot really study. Maybe because they don't have the internet connection. Maybe they just don't have the time because they need to work really hard to feed their family. Maybe there are people who, just cannot study for some reasons. maybe they have some problems, some troubles. Okay, again, not trying to put it in a disrespectful way, but when you just realize how many people actually wanted to have the privilege that you have to study, to exercise, to meditate, you are going to realize that, hey, you know what, actually exercising is a privilege, actually studying is a privilege, that people will actually face, you know, people will actually pays millions of dollars to have the same privilege. And hey, I can have this privilege right here, right now. I can study today only for 20 minutes, but I can study for 20 minutes today. That means I got 1200. I get 1200, 1200. I get 200 seconds to actually study. That's 1200 seconds more than other people. Okay, there are people in this world that are going to give their everything to get this 1200 seconds, and I get it quote unquote for free. This is a privilege. Okay, when you realize that it's a privilege, you are going to be feeling grateful for it. And when you feel grateful about it, you know what? Big chances you are going to utilize it. Because hey, this is something that you are grateful for. And why do we set it only for 20 minutes? Because we want to create some scarcity. Okay, some scarcity. We do not want to set it really high, because if we say to ourselves, oh yeah, I can only study for 12 hours today, big chances we are not really going to, we are not really going to hit that 12 hours. We are going to be saying, oh, you know what, 12 hours too much, that's too much. Okay, we just set it on 20 minutes first. Why? Because we want to create some scarcity. Again, when you allow it, when there's a rule for you, maybe being set from by your parents, that hey, you can only play video games for 20 minutes every single day. When you play the video game, you are going to be using the best of your time to actually enjoy it, okay, to actually just have fun, because it's only 20 minutes. Okay, it's only 20 minutes. You know that it's scarce, you know that it's not something that you can just do for hours and hours. It's something limited, and therefore you are going to utilize it the best as you can. Same thing applies here. You can only study for 20 minutes. You are going to be thinking only 20 minutes. Well then, I'm going to be using my time, my best of time, to actually focus. Okay, focus my time and focus my energy. Yeah, basically that's how you actually be consistent at doing something, by turning your perspective from something that you are obligated to do into something that you are privileged to do. Okay, so moving on to the second script, I want to be talking about the wall of expectation. Okay, so I got this new concept, the wall of expectation. ChatGPT inspired me. I don't know whether this is already a thing before. Maybe yes, maybe not. So basically, what is a wall of expectation? Some disclaimer, I only recommend this method using recycled paper, okay? Because if you don't use recycled paper, it could be pretty not green friendly, and I don't want that to happen. We do not want that to happen, okay? So maybe only use like recycled paper, okay? Eco-friendly paper. The thing that we are going to be doing here is that we are going to be grabbing a pen and a paper, okay, and just write all of our expectations, okay, all of our expectations for our future self. Basically, the best thing, the best time to actually write this is when you are feeling motivated. Okay, you are really feeling motivated, you just watch some motivational videos. Oh yeah, I want to change, and then just you know that the motivation is going to fade away like 5 minutes from now. So the thing that you are going to be doing here, okay, like that's pretty natural thing to do. Okay, motivation comes and goes. You get motivated. 5 minutes later, the motivation is gone. Natural. So the thing here is that we are not going to rely on this motivation that comes and goes. We are going to use it when it still exists. We are just going to be grabbing a pen and a paper and then write all of our expectation for our future self. Okay, the 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 uh, the version of us 2 days from now, the version of us 3 days from now, the version of us 1 week from now. Okay, just write all the expectations. Oh, I want you to achieve your dream life. I want you to be happy. I want you to achieve your goals. I want you to be not distracted by things. I want you to be this. I want you to be that. Blah 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 blah. Just write all those things. Write all the expectations for your future self. Maybe just also add some quotes and also some emotional elements. Maybe just remind yourself of your loved ones and stuff. Right? And basically, after you just write all of your expectations, okay, on this paper, you are going to be writing down, okay, what is going to be the manifestation, okay, what are you going to be doing after you know. Here's the thing. So you've got all this expectation for yourself, right? You got these dreams for yourself. So now, what are you going to be doing about that dream? What is the concrete manifestation, okay, about the thing that you are going to be doing? Oh yeah, I expect myself to have a fulfilling life. I expect myself to achieve my goals. I expect myself to be disciplined, consistent, blah 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 blah. So, and then yes, those things are great, but it's still way too general. We want to make it specific because we want to actually have a clear direction, have a clear signals, indicators of, what do we actually do in order to fulfill our expectation. So for example, yes, since precisely I believe that, I want to have a fulfilling life, that's why I exercise, because I exercising, the probability of me getting healthy is going to be higher. I have more time, more energy to do the stuff I love. And also, I want to be, I want to be strong. I want to be disciplined. I want to have some self-respect for myself. That's why I exercise consistently. Okay, just write down. Okay, exercising. But exercising is not enough. Okay, we need to make it even way more clear by making it specific and also measurable. So for example, oh yeah, I want to exercise. What type of exercise? 5 minutes of running every single day. Okay, this is not medical advice. If you want to start your own exercising routine, please do your own research and maybe consult to professional health. Please consider your own health conditions. This is just an example. 5 minutes of running every single day, precisely because I want to, achieve my expectation of having a fulfilling life, having a disciplined life, and so on and so on. Okay. So basically, when we actually have this kind of like clear indicator, we can actually precisely know when have we actually met our expectation, met our expectation. At least it gives us some pretty clear direction, okay? We want this, we expect this, we say we are going to be doing this to fulfill that expectation. We actually did that, well, things are good, okay? And definitely, just saying that, yes, having a fulfilling life definitely has lots of other things to do, other than just exercising, okay? But here's the thing, when we are starting, we need to, just have some really clear indicator, okay? And the thing that we are going to be doing here is that basically we are just going to be writing at the bottom of the paper. We are going to be writing, if I manage to fail not to do this thing, if I manage to fail not to do this thing, I'm going to, rip this paper off. So maybe like just, is there any live chat already? Maybe like add some exception. Maybe if I'm sick, well then it's okay not to exercise. It's okay to just take a rest. Actually, when you are sick, never, please just take some rest when you need to rest. If you exercise when you shouldn't be exercising, it could be counterproductive and dangerous actually. So we do not want that to happen, right? So again, write this rule that hey, if I'm sick, well, just rest. I do not need to exercise. And then at the very bottom of the paper, we are going to be writing, if I manage to fulfill these goals, well then I'm going to rip off this paper. Basically, that's it. Okay, we are going to be, putting this paper into the wall.